Hello, 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 everyone. How are we? How are we doing today? Let's see who's in the chat. Have a look. Hello, Ben, B Pal, Lydia, Lucy, Anna, Fancy, um, Miss Levy. You're missing the salsa music. It will be back when things are a little bit more lighthearted. Hello, Mary Cat. Mary Cat, I think somebody was trying to impersonate you the other day. Um, you just ran away from work to be here? Get back to work, girl. uh, let's see. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Emma D. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to keep you guys informed. Oh no, did something happen to Mary Cat's dog? Sorry, I think I missed that. Sorry, I think I missed your comment, but if something happened to your dog, I'm very sorry. Oh, bless you, dear. Hello, 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 everyone. Guys, I've literally just had the yummiest hot dog. There's a new hot dog and burger place. Rest in peace, my New Year's diet, because it is a pretty hot joint and they literally just opened the other day. Hello, 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 everyone. Yes, Emily, yesterday was pretty heavy, but I've tried to make today a little bit more lighthearted. There's some heavy stuff, but some pretty lighthearted stuff today as well. Uh, are we storming the castle? No, no, we're not going to storm the castle. Listen, we don't have to do, and I'm definitely not encouraging anyone to do anything to the royals. They're going to destroy themselves. Um, Pamela, oh, you're from California. Lovely. Say hi to Harry and Meghan. All right, I think all of the usual suspects are here. So without further ado, we can get started. So a lot has actually happened in the last 24 hours. And one of the most interesting things is that William was actually asked by a reporter. So I'm going to share the video screen so we can actually watch the video of how he reacted, because it's quite interesting. And Catherine was there as well. They were out on their first engagement of the year. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so can everyone see my screen? Just yes or one in the chat if you can see the screen. Okay, you can see the screen. Fantastic. So I'm just going to play the video now, and you can see his reaction. Your Royal Highness, can I just ask, do you support Prince Andrew? Sorry, I can't hear you. Do you support Prince Andrew? Have you spoken to him recently? Okay, I'm just going to replay that so we can watch it again. Your Royal Highness, can I just ask, do you support Prince Andrew? Sorry, I can't hear you. Do you support Prince Andrew? Have you spoken to him recently? Okay, so he first of all doesn't answer the question, and then kind of almost laughs it off. And Catherine, Benty Powell, he doesn't answer the question. At first, he well, I don't know if he's pretending, but he seems to not hear. And oh, we have a new member. Hello, Sonia Campbell. Thank you for joining. So at first he kind of, like he doesn't hear, and then he always like laughs it off. And what's so interesting is I was looking at comments from the Daily Mail, and people were saying, "Oh, why should he have to answer the question? It's so rude." Well, first and foremost, this is the future king. Secondly, um, when he wants to mouth off about the BBC and how his mother is paranoid, he has all the time and all of the words. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't see a problem with them asking, and he should know at this point that he's going to get asked. And he also seemed to be very ready to answer the question when they asked him, is the royal family a racist family? And he came out with our now classic line, "We are very much not a racist family." So he should know that this answer, these questions are coming, and that he should have an answer. And what was even more interesting was what happened after they left this event. So these tweets are supposedly from somebody who was in the crowd, and he's claiming that he's royalist and that he was waiting for them to come outside. And then he then goes on to tweet that he was blanked by William and Kate, and that they ignored two people in wheelchairs, and that Harry wouldn't have done that, and that he's very angry at the royals. Now, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know how genuine this is. I looked at the person's Twitter feed, and he looked like a real person. But for sure, because I did watch the video, they didn't stop to talk to anyone. They just got in the car and left. Um, so I felt that was a little bit rude, because there were actually members of the public, albeit a very small number of people, actually waiting to see them and talk to them. I mean, for all we know, it could have been a security threat, or there could be like a security reason why they didn't interact with the crowds, but there were people waiting for them, and a very small crowd. So it's not like they wouldn't have had 5 minutes to just go and say hi to everyone. But I thought that was quite interesting. I'll just look at your comments in a sec. Um, um, Someone on Twitter named Angela is leaving comments claiming death threats against Harry are his own fault for seeking celebrity status. He claims, "Yeah, we're just going to have to put up with this now going forward." After the Christopher Bouzy report, they've really, I think they've really lost their minds. But it's like, you wanted the attention and you got it, so don't run away now. Rahini, I wish I was a UK journalist. I would ask William the hard questions everywhere he goes. Imagine laughing at such a sensitive issue. I wonder if he remembers he has a daughter. Exactly, and it's the fact that he actually laughs. Like, he doesn't just turn around and carry on walking. It's like almost like this smirky kind of laugh. Like, what's so funny? You know. Benty Power, why is he shying away from the question? Not a kingly manner. No, not kingly at all. Diane, at the very least, the clown could have said, "No comment, the matter is under investigation." See, now, Diane, you need to be the future Queen of England, because that's exactly how he should have answered the question. And he should know to answer the question like that. Livy, when he said Diana was paranoid, it peed me off. Yeah, it peed me off as well. And what was even more interesting was Harry's response was so much more measured. Diana said what she said, and she didn't just say it in that interview with Martin Bashir. She said it in her own words in the book and in the documentary. So this narrative that they continue to try and put out there, that Diana was paranoid, Diana was crazy, girl, please. She said what she said, and we all heard it. They're trying to rewrite history. Yeah, a lot of you are noticing Kate's look. Yeah, the hair is a lot more sleek. Wonder why. I didn't know that they ever took questions from the public or media in public. Well, they typically don't, I don't think so, but they should still expect to be asked, especially when something like this is going on. Uh, is his response deliberate? What do you think his laughing is deliberate? The fact that he's laughing it off is deliberate? You think that maybe he was actually prepared for the question and that response was almost to say, we don't care? Is that what you mean? Yeah, Rahini. So they're allowed to harass M&H, but we can't ask the future king a serious question about a tax-funded royal. And bearing in mind, there were articles coming out saying that it was William that encouraged the Queen, and they had hard talks about it. So why is he shying away from the question now? By the way, there is also I'll post a link to it, but after my live, I'm not going to be here for more than an hour, if that. But after my live, there is a live spaces chat on Twitter with Christopher Bouzy. So definitely check that out because I'm sure he'll have more to say regarding his report. And he's also said that there is more to come. So I'm guessing another report, or they're really going to go after these people. Um, Rock, Charles scurried away when confronted by reporters for similar questions. Father and son spent several times on the phone during Christmas time to strip Andy's title, securing their position. Why now? Mm, good point. And they knew those questions were going to be asked. That's why their crowd was so big. Oh gosh. I mean, if it was Harry and Meghan, that would be a rock star crowd. They had rock star crowds everywhere they went. Yeah, they were probably mad because the crowd was so small. I mean, there were barricades and everything, so there were I guess in their minds they were expecting a big crowd. So you don't put barricades unless you're expecting big crowds. Hey man, be 10 pal. Mm. Sometimes I read your comments and I'm like, I really want to put them on the screen, but I still try to be careful. Not that you can't post them because they make me laugh. I just won't highlight them because I don't want to get in trouble. Okay. I think I will go back to my next slide now. Yes, good for Christopher to expose the cowards. So, and these are the cowards in question, right? Do you know what? I want all of the pro Sussex accounts to come together and we can take a group picture because I know that we are all fine as hell in comparison to these fools over here. And this tweet that I have here up on the screen, that is from according to Taz. Now, she said that Prince Harry's wanted security was just because he was pompous. Now, these pictures are supposedly of Prince Harry in his in his car, either going to or from the Well Child event. Oh yeah, so these are allegedly these are photos of him leaving the Well Child event. So my question is, how did they get these pictures? Because I've never even seen these pictures in the press. So how does a troll get these pictures? Where did these pictures come from? Clearly somebody took the pictures. So how did this security breach happen that these pictures could be taken? Was it the paparazzi? Was it members of the public? How are these pictures taken? And then you've got a troll that harasses Harry and Meghan, making light of these pictures and making light of this security breach. And bearing in mind, it was only what, a couple of weeks ago that this happened, the so-called Windsor intruder. And it's like this came into the news and went out so quickly. So how is it that only 3 weeks ago we had someone who was supposedly threatening to harm the Queen with a crossbow? It must have been a rocket-powered crossbow because they didn't get too close. But how was it that we had this threat going on in Windsor Castle, and 3 weeks later we are debating whether or not to give the Queen's grandson and his wife and children who have also been threatened security. It's like they can't keep up with their own lives. Ugh. Mm, Samuel, whoever is handling the Cambridges are not doing their job. All he had to say was no comment, and the matter is still in legal hands. Thus, it would be unfair to comment. Are they? Yes, Mac, they aren't trolls, they are stalkers. Starros, guys, Murad Amirali ready Bouzy's report and has started to drag some of the YouTube accounts mentioned. Please go give him some views and thumbs up. I think he's promising to do another later. Yes, please go and give Murad a thumbs up and watch his channel. He is absolutely amazing. I actually love him. And he's been backing Meghan and defending Meghan and Harry for some time. He does videos on other things as well, like things like the Kardashians and Kanye or whatever, but he always comes in for Meghan, and he did release one very short video about the trolls. But I think you're right. He is going to do an extended one, so please go and support him. Um, Rohi, these middle-aged women have a lot on their hands. Well, one of them isn't even middle-aged; she's like 65, and yeah, they do have a lot of time on their hands because they're getting paid for this. But of course, these trolls and paps work hand in hand, just like the journalists or the right-wing party of corrupt politicians. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if some of these paparazzi are now leaking to the trolls. Sorry, I'm exhausted from their lies. So am I. Exhausted. Mary Cat, I don't think the Queen is doing well. I don't think she is either because she hasn't been seen since October. Well, she hasn't been seen standing in public since October. Um, I mean, presumably she'll want to rest in the lead up to the Jubilee. But no, nobody really knows what's going on with the Queen. Um, Sorry, I'm just trying to get through your comments before we move on. Mm. Benti Pal, it's a proven fact that some paparazzi are MI6 members as well. It came out in the Diana death investigation. The Secret Service has snitches as well who work on side as paparazzi. Oh, that's interesting. Which Diana? Oh, this is in the Diana investigation. Oh, sorry, I was about to say, is there a Diana documentary where this was mentioned? But if you're saying it came out in the investigation, then I'll definitely look into that. That's quite interesting. Um, Levy, the troll accounts have cooled down the thunder on themselves. Yeah, they wanted attention and they got it. And they're going to regret it. I don't think the Queen is making decisions. I'd say Wandering Wills and Pops are in control. They probably are. Wandering Wills, Pops, and Carol Middleton with her trolley. Murad said that Mr. Birds are looking for. I'm going to take away your phone. Why are you like this? Oh, okay. I think I've got through all your comments now. And Prince Andrew's teddy bear, or his love of teddy bears, one of you squaddies mentioned that he had a teddy bear in his carriage when he got married. So I looked into it. I believe this picture was taken just before they were going to their honeymoon, which is why Fergie's not in her wedding dress. But this is from the wedding. And there you see a giant Mr. Teddy Bear there in the carriage. So thank you for the squaddy who pointed that out. Diane, would you come out in public if your son was being investigated for what he is? Has a lot of teddies, another grandson, First Peter, now Billy having an affair, and Pa being Pa. Yeah, I'd probably just stay away also. How embarrassing. Julia, does he dress in teddies? I mean, some people out here have weird fetishes. I've heard of all types of weird things that people are into, especially these elites, so nothing would surprise me. Did he marry the teddy too? You guys. Moving on, people came out obviously to check the royal family about that Martin Luther King Day Stevie Wonder tribute, and this was probably my favorite clapback tweet to Philip, trying to escape hell to turn off that black music. He heard Stevie Wonder playing in the palace and was like, "Nope, I'm coming back to planet Earth to turn off that music." And as many people pointed out, the Buckingham Palace has banned ethnic minorities in the past from office roles, and they also have a clause that stops them from being sued for racial or sexual discrimination. So the fact that they would do this on Martin Luther King Day is just, I mean, everybody can see past your PR stunts. It's not working anymore. Mm, pause your comment. Diane, who knew Big Teddy would procreate and sit all over his bed? Oh, you guys. And what does he do with that teddy bear? It's no snuggles. Yeah, it's huge. That is a human-sized teddy bear. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. Miranda, I just can't with the teddy bear. No, neither can I. At his wedding in public. Yes, at his wedding in public because, well, nobody knew about his teddy fetish then. So it looked very cute, didn't it, at the time? But knowing what we know now, the Unroyals are worried about Harry's book. Yes, they are. And I don't actually even think that Harry's book is going to be that explosive. And they do this every single time. Every single time Harry or Meghan is going to talk, they get their knickers in a twist and they end up outing themselves. Murad's Twitter handle, I don't know. I don't follow him on Twitter. I just follow him on YouTube. Yes, Lydia, Philip was a known racist. I was actually thinking about doing a video of like top 10 outrageous things that Philip has said, because some of them are pretty outrageous. One of them was, when I die, I want to come back as a virus or something like that. Boy. Yeah, Samuel, the royal family are decaying from inside. They will inevitably destroy themselves. Their greed will get the better of them. Honey, that's the only American birthday song that the band knows. What? Church Nelly? And I thought my aunt wearing her bra outside her clothing was bad? She wears her bra outside her clothing? Well, that's actually a style, you know. Didn't the Pussycat Dolls make that a thing? Wearing your bra outside her clothing or wearing your bra as clothing? The Pussycat Dolls made that style. So she's not crazy. Uh, Rock, rumor has it former education minister chased a tarantula as a pet. So these numpties fetishize weird animals. Oh, okay, that's news to me. I'll look into that. Hey, next on the agenda. So about 2 days ago, new photos from the next season of The Crown came out, and they are of the actress who's playing Diana being chased by paparazzi. And you can see, you know, her posture, the way they've done the style, very, very looking, yeah, looking very much like what we would have expected back in those days. And I think that this season of The Crown, it's going to be quite a somber one, but it's not. I don't think that this season is going to cover her death. I think the next season will, because they wanted to stretch it out a little bit more. I feel like they should have done that with the last season as well, because there's so much to tell in Diana's story, and it was all just very kind of rushed. Um, so, but we are going to get two more seasons of the Diana years, and here you can see a paparazzi chasing scene happening, and I feel like with what's going on with Harry and Meghan, I do feel like it's going to just remind people again of these years and how much history is just repeating itself. The same way, what happened with the last The Crown series. People were reminded of how Diana was treated and how history was repeating itself with Meghan. Sylvia, we hear reports here in the US from the royal reporters that the unroyal family is more popular than ever. Is that true over there? No, it's not true over there. Okay, first and foremost, I will say this. Even for people who do like the royal family, there are so many other things happening in Britain right now. But the royal family are just the least of everybody's worries. I think people are only paying attention to it as much as major stories about the family come into the news. So the story about Andrew, the distraction story about, Prince Harry and his security. Otherwise, guys, there are so many things going on over here. There's all just back and forths with Bojo, and honestly, like the royals are the least of most people's issues. Reba, no, that was Madonna. Pussycat Dolls copied her. Yeah. Yeah, it was originally Madonna, but the Pussycat Dolls brought it back for the kids. What do I think about Colin Campbell defending Prince Andrew and attacking his accuser? She's another one of these paid nut jobs, so don't even pay attention to her. She'll get her comeuppance as well. How many times has the monarch recognized Martin Luther King Day that you know of? Well, somebody actually tweeted this the other day, and she looked through the royal family's Twitter from 2019 when the Twitter account was started, and they claimed that they saw absolutely no mention of Martin Luther King Day by the royal family. And the whole civil rights movement, it was happening when the Queen was alive, and I don't know of the Queen even mentioning what was going on during the civil rights movement. So yeah, I don't think I've ever recognized it. The royal family has consciousness of guilt. That's why they're so freaked by Harry. Exactly. They know they did something. There is so much that we don't know about. Julia looks like her for sure. Yeah, now that I've seen these pictures, I'm feeling a little bit more confident, because the first pictures I saw were of her in the revenge dress, and I wasn't too sure. But sometimes things can come off differently in pictures than they do on film. But so far, The Crown hasn't let us down, so I'm sure the actress is doing a great job and it will come out great. Vinny, you just found Murad on YouTube. Yeah, he's awesome. And he's, even though he is very to the point and direct, he still finds room for compassion, and he's very sensible. He tries not to be too nasty and sensationalist, which I appreciate. Lydia. Oh no, you can post a link to Murad's channel. That's absolutely fine. Anyone who is a pro Sussex channel, feel absolutely free to put the link in the comment section. I won't be offended at all. As long as they're pro Sussex, I don't mind. Hello, Miss Poirot. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for joining us. Audrey, and that's the only reason God left Philip on this earth of hell for 100 years, to be punished and live his hell right here on earth. God, he was a very strange man. There's a lot that we don't know about him. I mean, imagine saying that when you die, you want to come back as a virus. Andrew, and people in England are trying to survive. Exactly. They don't care about the royals. It's just this very small group of royalists. Oh, and something else that happened the other day. So I knew that they were going to come up with something to try and distract from the very real fact, especially with this ITV interview, that it's the Queen who is essentially protecting Andrew. And so GB News came out with their usual cultural nonsense and said that they're now going to start playing the national anthem every single day on their news channel. And I just think at this point, like we have to stop acting like the Queen and the royals are not, harboring a criminal. Or I mean, it's not even just Andrew. I mean, there's so much that we really need to, as a nation, come to terms with. So it's again them using the Queen as a shield from us having a serious conversation about what's been going on with the royal family. And unfortunately, our national anthem is literally centered around the Queen. But by the time all of this is finished, I do think that we're going to need a new national anthem, and I hope that it centers the people, like similar to the American national anthem. I like the American national anthem. It's a very nice anthem you have. Um, it's such a sleazy business to keep linking the Sussexes to these awkward scenarios that they aren't that they're not germane to. We know the click for cash is the trend. Yeah, exactly. And they keep trying to link Harry to Andrew. I can actually go to one of my yes, I was gonna get to it now that you've mentioned it. So you can see on one side of the screen, this tweet was from Duchess of Palms, and she said, "It's unfortunate the Telegraph has chosen to resort to tabloid style baiting. Harry and his uncle were never going to get a medal that was meant for in active service Jubilee medal." So this is to do with the Jubilee medals, and what the Telegraph are saying that neither Harry or Andrew are going to get a medal. So basically conflating the two. But Dee then went on to say medals are awarded under different categories for different reasons. As you can see here in 2012, a very young looking Justin Bieber was awarded the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. So I never even knew about that. Justin Bieber getting a medal from the Queen. But you can see like they're trying to come from every single angle to put Harry and Andrew in the same um, in the same bucket. And also, Omid tweeted that with no official duties to carry out or royal patronages to his name, Prince Andrew has taken down his Duke of York Twitter account, which had 259 followers. Who was following him? I bet you half of them were fake. And the YouTube channel. Boy. Mm. Dara, I remember everyone. There was a gentleman who said that they did something bad to Meghan, and if we ever hear what it is, you will change your mind about what they say to her. Yes, I do remember this. It was that Kevin guy, right? And he was talking to Piers Morgan. The thing is, we now know of so many things that happened to Meghan. I'm wondering if when he was talking to Piers, if any of the things that have happened are what are going to change our minds, because anybody who was thinking critically would have changed their mind and stopped being a Meghan hater by now. So I'm wondering, well, I'm sure there is more to come, but I'm just thinking, how drastic or extreme does it have to be before people change their mind and see that this whole thing was a smear campaign against Meghan? Mm. Miranda, when William insinuated his mum was crazy and that she didn't know what she was talking about, that angered and saddened me because Diana deserved more from her son. Yeah, she did. But her firstborn fall has been such a letdown. Duchess, can you post the link to Christopher's space? Yes, I will. I will. When I'm done here, I'll post it in the comments and I'll also post it on the community tab. Um, well, maybe he's Omicron. Do you mean Philip? He said a deadly virus. So Omicron is pretty bad, but it's not like wiping out half the planet. I think that's what Philip would have wanted to like wipe out half the planet. Oh, your comments are coming in hard and fast. Um, Amy, we can't afford the royal family. Millions need food banks. Yeah, and somehow they ended up costing more during COVID. Ugh, poor Kate. Willie would rather be in the rose bushes, and no matter what she does, she will never be loved like Diana or Megan. If Willie dumps her, no one will care about her mama. I mean, you'd be surprised. There might still be some people who sympathize with her. I mean, don't underestimate the power of a spin doctor to change national opinion. D. I never understood why the national anthem centers around an individual. I'm gonna do some research into the national anthem for the UK actually, because I don't know why it is the way it is. And yeah, I love your national anthem. Do you want to know why I know how to sing the American national anthem? Because of Beyonce. Beyonce taught me the American national anthem. Have you watched Diana the night she died on Real Stories? It gives you more info on her death. Oh no, I haven't. Do you guys want me to watch royal documentaries and do reviews? There's one really good one really good documentary on Netflix called The 7 Days That Shook Britain or Changed Britain. And that was centered around the 7 days around Diana's death and funeral. That is a really interesting one. Highly recommended. Then we turned God Save the King Queen into My Country to the V. Very different non royal lyrics. Interesting. I don't even know what we could change it to because it's so ingrained now in people's minds. But if Charles becomes king, then it's going to have to be God Save the King. Josephine, why would HM want to be in the same place as a not my children, ruined teddy bears, almost love and blessings? I really hope that someone keeps a very close eye on the children in these households because, and that actually brings me on to the next thing that I was going to talk about. I'm not going to keep this up on the screen for too long because I don't want anyone who's been affected by sexual assault to be triggered. But this is just a sampling of the headlines from throughout the years of things connected to the royal family. And it's why I've said in the past, the situation with Andrew is almost like it's almost become a smokescreen for so many other things that have gone on. These are just a few of the headlines. I actually had to take a lot out because I'd collected so many. Somebody had a huge thread going on Instagram of things that have happened with the royal family. Really, really shady things with shady people. Got another one here. Up in the top corner, this was a butler who was running a ring while working for the royal family. Now, running a P ring while you're a butler, that is some side hustle. That's a very sick side hustle. You can't tell me that they wouldn't know about something like this because he would have had to have a background check before working for the family. So someone doesn't just become a P overnight. So it wouldn't surprise me if he had um, charges or at least like warnings on his record or some kind of criminal record before he was hired. It's all just very, very strange. And I think that I think that when the Queen passes away, a lot is going to come out. A lot. Because you can't tell me that they don't know that a lot of these things happen. I'll just take that off the screen and go to your comments. And when they start playing the Brits national anthem, just start singing the Star Spangled Banner, I might actually do that. Um, Seriously, like the American anthem is a banger. It is a tune. Mm. Miranda, I think Willie attacked his mum because one, he's on his wife and wants to justify it. It's a warning shot to Kate. She better stay quiet. If Willie dumped her, no one would care. Pete and Powell, Prince Harry left the firm. Andrew brought shame to the firm. So there's no similarity between Prince Harry and Prince Andrew. Absolutely. Cinderella Will has been brainwashed by Buckingham Palace. Well, Diana did say they will raise the heir and I despair. And she really didn't have a choice. Like they were gonna raise him to be the future king. And he's had his ego so inflated. He's going to be king of all the realms of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. That's if the monarchy survives. But can you imagine being told that your entire life? And they're probably doing the exact same thing to George right now. Um, mm, mm. Krista, it's okay when the British media makes him into the man making decisions about Andrew's future in print, but in person, not so tough, exactly. Not so tough in person. You know what? Sooner or later, someday, this is all going to come to an end, and then we'll get all of the sit downs. Kate will give her sit down. William will give his sit down, and you know how hard I'm going to laugh if those sit downs are with Oprah. Mary Cat, I think Kate is fighting to stay royal because she knows she's not needed. Well, as far as the institution is concerned, she's just a womb. Everybody else wants Catherine and the women of the royal family to be more than just mannequins and wombs, but the institution only wants them to be mannequins and wombs. So now that she's done her job, she's produced heirs. They could well discard of her, but it's going to be very difficult to do that if she hasn't, as far as the public who still see her as very saintly is concerned. It's going to be very difficult to get rid of her if she doesn't appear to have done anything wrong, at least to royalists. Rock. They gave three hapless, disingenuous ministers awards recently to keep the prime minister's secrets. He submitted those names deliberately because backroom fraud are working. Propagating parliament was unlawfully. I mean, they're all trying to keep each other's secrets, right? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they're just giving out awards to keep people quiet. Sherry, yes, love deep dive in British documentary. There are some really good documentaries, actually, that are really well made. So it's something that I'll look into, and I'm actually going to buy the Andrew Morton Diana book. I've never actually read it because I think there's a lot of detail in there that would tell me a lot more about her life that I don't know of. St. Mary, please let's stress the fact that Harry's lawyers released a report about their security home office refusing because the fail was going to release it. So far, none of the newspapers have stressed that. Well, they wouldn't because they want to spin their own narrative. I mean, they keep spinning this narrative that Harry's going to sue the British government. I mean, are you kidding me? He's not going to sue the British government, but that's how they're spinning it. Uh, Billy Samar, that's because British people are subjects, not citizens. Yeah. So we are only here to serve the Queen, hence our national anthem. That's true. I'm going to do more research into it though, because it's quite interesting. Um, okay, let's get through your comments before I go to the next slide. A lot of things will change when the Queen dies. They're going to go wild. Yeah, they will go wild. And Rose will be the future Queen consort. Well, you know, people keep saying that, but I'm just like, how are they going to do it? How? How do they get rid of? Okay, if he wants to get rid of Catherine, how does he do it without looking bad? Because it's him that has the secrets to hide. Unless Catherine actually wants to leave and it's just her mother pushing her. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Okay, me just. Yeah, I think that's actually all I wanted to say today. Oh wait, no. Let's end on some on a positive note. Melba's is getting more love. Oh, thank you, B10 Pal. Oh, you're so generous. You guys, you really do humble me. Thank you so much. So Melba's is getting some love from I think it's Senator Gillibrand, and she tweeted, had a fantastic lunch at Melba's and a great conversation with officially Melba. I was proud to help create the restaurant revitalization fund, and I will keep fighting to make sure it has affected by the Mr. C, and because a lot of them had to shut down or just offer delivery or pickup services, and Melba's really did help its staff. And of course, Harry and Meghan donated to Melba's, and it's been great to see them get so much love from not just from politicians, but also from media. And I'm sure many more people have been visiting Melba's. I think Ethan's husband said that he went there, right? Ethan's husband, if you're in the chat, tell us how the waffles were. Marsha, the butler may have been a royal family supplier, allegedly. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that headline, I only saw that because somebody posted it on Twitter recently. I'd never even heard of that story, and they're very good at this of burying stories. So do you know one of the things that they'll often do is they'll post about a story, but they'll post about it at a very awkward time when traffic is very low on the site, and they'll put it in the back pages of the website so very few people see it. Or sometimes they'll make sure that comments aren't allowed on that article. So it's not even that they don't report on these things, it's just they hide it. Because that's the first time I'm actually hearing about that, or many of those headlines that I put on the screen. Um, Ruth, what are you maybe waiting for Liz to kick before he dumps cannot? His father cannot tell him not to. Yeah, especially after his marriage with Kamala. Oh, we've got some Americans here telling me about the anthem. Okay, I'll research more into your anthem. I don't know much about it, to be honest. It just sounds good to my ears, but if there's a deeper meaning to it, then I respect that and I will do more research. Thank you for letting me know. Mm, mm, really. Yeah, Sussex Global authorities turn a blind eye to abusive activities, and it goes back a long, long way. Yeah, and it's usually um, only decades later, or when the person's dead or dying, that's when you hear about these things. Anna, I'm not going to put your comment on the screen, but it's not unusual for people who had things done to them to then go on to become abusers. So maybe, especially growing up in that household. Andrine, maybe Windsor Castle will be raided, all their secrets are stored there. Well, I'm surprised that none of the royal households have been raided so far. I mean, that should have been part of the investigation, right? I mean, if you or me or any other normal person had been suspected of abuse, that's the first thing that they would do. They would raid the house, raid the computers, raid the phones, raid all the things. And the UK police haven't done that. Uh, Brenda, I remember when they found a body of a young woman on the Queen's property. When was that? I never knew about that. Goodness me. Oh gosh. Yeah, there was also tapes allegedly about Diana, um, sorry, of someone talking to Diana being abused, and that they vanished. Yeah, I've heard about that. Okay. Uh, yeah, Cookies and Cream. The Queen's nephew recently got into trouble for assaults, and he was actually charged. So runs in the family. Yes, Maggie. The crimes that go on in our world every day goes on behind closed doors at that palace. They've been going on for many, many years, but hidden from the public. I think we have a situation where we've got these elites in their ivory towers, and to put it quite bluntly, the only way we're going to be able to ever stop them is to literally take down the towers because they've got all the money, they've got all the resources to do whatever they want, and it happens plain and simple. Or the way I see it, anyway, it happens because we allow it to happen. There's 7 billion of us on this planet, and only a handful of them. I think we've forgotten our power. Okay, I'm just gonna go through your comments and then call it a day. And then there's one more thing that I do want to say, but I'm gonna wait until the very, very, very end. Sylvia, what was the royalist saying about Mumbles when tabloids were calling her lazy and she could string two sentences together? I think that when they were calling her lazy, a lot of them went along with it. And then by the time she got married, the rhetoric had changed. And then there was all this hope and kind of joy around the time that they got married, and Diana's son finally found love. And I do remember Kate's first engagement. I think she poured like champagne on a boat or something, and there was quite a lot of positive press around it. And the press seemed to really turn a page and were very positive about her after they got married. And then it's only when they kind of disappeared and weren't doing anything, that's when the work shy wills and Duchess Doolittle labels came about. So they did actually have good favor after they got married. They just wasted it. Vinnie Blair, the crown is now a heap of ashes, no respect, no mystique, no deference, just public insults and criticisms. Kane rules over ashes. Yep. Oh, bye bye, Miss S. Thank you for coming. Loretta, the last time the Queen was seen in public was in October. Specifically, remember it was at some event leading up to COP26. I just remember her shaking Bill Gates' hand. That's all I remember. Mm. Thank you so much, B10 Pal, and thank you for the donation as always. Have a lovely day. Get through your comments. Would they delay the announcement if the Queen died? I don't really know, to be honest. Um, if they, I don't know, they might have some kind of reason to. Maybe they just want the family to have a moment. I do know though that there is a whole entire protocol, and they are ready for whenever it happens. I've heard of newspapers having like pre-made templates where they've already written articles and have like pre-made templates of where they're going to put pictures and pictures they might use already to go to print. Just they'll change depending on what the circumstances surrounding her death. Obviously, they'll make small changes, but they've got everything ready to go. Like, how weird is that? That you've got basically a whole nation ready for you to die. And I think BBC, they have a whole protocol where they'll stop all programming. Um, and after the last few days, I will not put anything past that on royal family. When I think they hit rock bottom, they come up with something worse. Yeah. And it's only January, everyone. Like, just think about that for a second. It's only January. Ruth, Kate is aging fast. They had to Photoshop her glamour shots until she was unrecognizable. Yeah, and they didn't even need to do all of that photoshopping. Like, just everybody's okay with seeing your wrinkles and your defined lines now. Like, hello, body positivity. Like, there was no need to airbrush her half to death. Um, Rita, with the Bouzy report, can these women be prosecuted or fined in any way? I really don't know. They might actually talk about that. Sorry, let me actually just get the link, and while we're here, give me a sec. I need to go on my phone, and I will post the link to the talk. Just give me a sec. Um, so that you can go, and I think it's in about an hour on Twitter. That you can go, and I think it's in. Sorry about the echo. Okay, so there's the link in Twitter Spaces, so you can come along and listen. And thank you so much, Pamela Brown Jenkins. Much appreciated. I'm sure it's going to be great, and I'm sure they'll explain some of these things as well, because unless there's any lawyers in the chat that would like to chime in, I believe that they will at least look into the different ways that they can actually go after these people, because I don't understand um how they to at least try to prosecute, because it's definitely that there are definitely some laws surrounding harassment and online harassment, especially if you've got someone who's made such obvious threats as Yankee Wally did. She actually did threaten to physically harm Meghan. And I'm surprised that somebody like that would be able to make such a brazen threat like that, having previously been convicted for a firearms assault. Um, I just want to get through your comments before we go. People flock to support anything Harry and Meghan support. That's why the food trucks were so ecstatic. Yeah, and a lot of media covered that, by the way. A lot of media covered that story. Absolutely no one covered the Buckingham Palace playing Stevie Wonder story. YouTube makes money and don't care whose reputation they help ruin. Yeah, that's another thing. I think a lot of people aren't considering that YouTube do make a lot of money from all of this as well. The late night comedians are having a field day with their jokes about Prince Andrew. I did, sorry, Prince Android. I did see, I think it was Colbert, did a little skit about Andrew and the Queen. The people of York said they don't want Andrews anymore as the Duke of York. Well, they're going to have to put up with it because how long have the people of Cornwall been trying to get rid of Camilla? Krista, it's a sign of their guilt that they said of Harry's book. Absolutely. Um, what about the bodies being found on the property of the British on royal family? One found near KP and one found near Sarrington. I heard about the one to do with KP. I didn't hear about the one to do with Sarrington. I'm not aware that the royals themselves had anything to do with that. It could have just been someone wandering on the property. But it is very suspect that we didn't really hear any more about it or any follow ups. Very strange, especially that they would get close enough to the property like that. Mm. And Diane, can they be raided? Something like diplomatic immunity likely protects them. Yeah, very likely. That's a good point. And I think it's why we have to have a serious debate about diplomatic immunity. It just doesn't make any sense to me. A criminal is a criminal. Anastasia, he doesn't look like Diana anymore. No. I mean, imagine there was a time when Prince William, he literally looked like a Disney prince, like a cartoon Disney prince. He had the most beautiful face, rosy cheeks, that like blonde hair, his mother's like blonde, wispy hair. Like, dang, what happened? That's what evil does to you. I think Bouzy says Met Police approached him after posting a report. Interesting. But the question remains, will they do anything about it? Because remember, the head of the Met Police is that Cressida Dick lady who was given an honour from Prince Charles. Yes, 500 people in the chat. Hit thumbs up, please. Oh, thank you so much, Black Cougar, for the super sticker. Okay, I think I've almost caught up with. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up with all of your comments. Otherwise, I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I thought I'd caught up with your comments, but there's a hell of a lot more. So I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up with everyone, or else we'll be here all night. But I just wanted to end by saying and giving honor to this gentleman right here, um, fashion icon, um, Andre Leon Talley, unfortunately died, aged 73. I can remember for as long as I've loved fashion from the time I was a little girl, I knew who Andre was, and he had such a huge impact on the fashion industry. And it was so comforting having a face like him to like see yourself reflected in this big fashion world where often people of color are not seen. I haven't read his biography. Apparently, he had a lot to say, especially about Anna Wintour. So I'm definitely gonna buy me a copy of that and read it. But just wanted to say rest in peace. We are losing our greats, and unfortunately, we lose another one today. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Let's just see who's going to get the last word. Who's going to get the last word? Vivian. Oh, Viv- Vivian, thank you so much. Highly appreciate it. Um, yes, Black Cougar gone too soon. I mean, 73. He wasn't old. That's not old. Um, Amy, Wills and Kate visiting a museum, and no one was there to chill, greet them. Yeah, because everyone's busy, hun. Yes, cookies and cream. Sleep in heavenly peace, Andre. And I think I will end it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Tomorrow is Thursday, and so I don't think I'm going to do a live tomorrow. I'll probably just do a pre recorded podcast instead. I might do a live on Friday evening, but the live that I was meant to do today about Megan, I've moved that to next Wednesday. So that's a more topical podcast. And I'm definitely going to be doing more of them going forward. But thank you, everyone, as usual. And I'm going to play us out. Have a great evening, afternoon. Bye bye now.